me. What?
Crank up the bus. Don't go the bus.
Crank up the bus.
Don't make me what?
Don't make me what?
Tell some stuff. Tussle with it.
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 What it do, peeps? It's the Beat Chef. This is the ride. Welcome aboard. Please have a seat. Make yourselves comfortable. Buckle up for safety. Safety is important. Sydney Colson has told the world what the WNBA is, what they stand for, and what they're afraid of. Let's get into it. This picture is significant. When Kamala Harris ran against Donald Trump and she lost, and they showed the results, and they said that 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. This meme instantly came out days after, and it showed a group of black women on top of a building watching America burn. And that's how they felt. Even though black men voted en masse for Kamala Harris in that last election, they still felt like they were on an island and isolated. That plays into what goes on in the WNBA and what Sydney Colson is about to tell you. So let's get into it.
Our league is slowly when more money comes, less speaking up for stuff starts to happen. Yeah. We were a league built on speaking up, protesting, talking about things that were wrong, not worrying about consequences of said actions, because actually we did things all together as a league. And let me remind you, it was about 75 to 80% black woman league at this time when these things were going on. We spoke out about what was problematic.
Right.
And this was when not as many people were paying attention to the WNBA.
She said a mouthful right there. And one thing, Sydney Colson's in her mid-30s. She's in her mid-30s. When the WNBA was formed, she was a kid. The WNBA was not formed for activism. It was formed to provide a platform for women to actually come and watch the NBA and get merchandise. This was David Stern's marketing plan. The fallout was supposed to be when women came in to watch the men play, they would then follow women. David Stern was thinking women support women. That's not the case. David Stern was incorrect in that assumption. More men would support a women's league if the product was entertaining over women supporting women. It doesn't happen like that. Sydney Colson's a kid when the WNBA is formed. There was no activism in the WNBA. They were new. They didn't have a union. It was basically a company being built from the ground up, and then they got a union, and then they started regulating and fighting for certain things, certain perks, benefits, the housing, healthcare, etc. And as each contract went on, they got more things as the league was growing. Sydney Colson doesn't understand how the league was built. She thinks when she came in, by that time, when she came into the league, she comes into the league and she's cutting her teeth in the league, and then some issues come up and they dive into every issue that comes up, whether it has to do with black women, this, that, or another. They always seem to put their nose in the business of something that has nothing to do with basketball. This is their union. Their union became a political action committee. And that's the problem that's going on now. When she says the money is coming in and the voices have to be quiet, folks, you got to understand the number one thing they want is power. Number two, they think they're losing their voice. They think they're losing their ability to speak and voice their opinions. They never have built the business. Had the NBA not funded the league, this would be an afterthought. Sydney knows that. They all know that. They all benefit from it. Let her keep cooking.
Or even caring as much, but it didn't matter because we were going to say what we had to say.
That's the other part of it. We were going to say what we want to say. Keep in mind, folks, the WNBA was in a box for a reason. Because of activism. Because you don't want to watch entertainment and it become political. Every sporting event does not have to have a theme and a message about political activism, something that you're not getting, something that you feel that you're marginalized. And that's what she's about to go into.
And if we pay attention, like I can bring this back to statistically, in
We were
America, when you're listening, how many, the 92% black.
That's the 92% of the women that voted for Kamala Harris in the last election. Black women voted for Kamala Harris at a 92% clip in that last election when she lost to Donald Trump. That's what Sidney Colson is referencing. So in that same election, black women decided that they were their own race. Black men voted almost at an equal rate for Kamala Harris. They did not like that. They wanted it to be 120% of black men voting for Kamala Harris. And so the racial divide amongst black men and black women has seeped over into the WNBA, and it's seeped over for a number of years. And that's what Sidney Colson is alluding to. Black women have put themselves on an island. A large percentage of them have put themselves on an island, and they deem themselves untouchable. That's seeped over into the WNBA, and she's about to go into depth on that situation.
Black women that did not vote for Trump. The 92%. It's not coincidental. In our league, in this league, in my mind, and this is how people need to look at it, if we have a league that was built on black women, and we still have a league that is still majority black women, if black queer women are not excluding people from shit, then none of us are.
Absolutely.
It always amazes me when a alphabet black woman speaks and they have a white woman next to them. The white woman is marginalized and forced to basically tap dance. Now, this is Teresa Plassant. This was a former teammate with the Aces. She won a title with Sidney Colson back in 2021. But she's got to dance. You see this happen all the time, whether it's on ESPN or NBC. If Hannah Storm's up there with a group of sisters, Hannah Storm got to tap dance. Hannah Storm cannot go against the narrative. She has to go in line with the narrative. But the interesting thing about Teresa Plassant is also of the alphabet. But this almost gives her a cloak. So her and Sidney Colson can talk. Sidney Colson does not see Teresa Plassant as a white woman. She just sees her. This is the same thing with Cheryl Reeve. This is the same thing with Becky Hammond. This is the same thing with Stephanie White. If you notice, they never attack them for being white women coaching in the W. They never mention it. They never mention them being white women because they don't see their color, because they're part of that 85%. But I'm gonna let Sidney Colson continue to cook.
It's
Then none of us are, or what we can do. Let's have separate but equal. Then let's have two separate leagues. Let's have leagues that are people are accepting of everyone, and then let's have another league where y'all want it a certain way and you want the let's okay.
wear dresses. You can churn butter when you're done.
Now, both of them think they're comedians. In real life, they're both trying to be comedians.
I can't with you.
I think I'm gonna go to the Black Queer League, honestly. I hope there's a spot for me. Thank you.
But ultimately, that's what they want. So they want a separate league. And I'm actually in agreement with them having a separate league. I advocate for Project B to be a success, and for Unrivaled to be a success, because I want all the old guard and all the old thinking to have a place to go continue to play their basketball careers. And I want them to give up the W. Give up the W. Give up the W. And like she said, a separate league. Because they want what they want, how they want it. Basically, Sydney Colson is basically to the point of, hey, look, black women and black queer women built the WNBA. That's her stance. Matter of fact, let's look at the comments, and you'll see even in the comments. You'll see in the comments. She says, let's say I know exactly what league I'm picking if it came down to it. So basically she's telling you. And then, you know, Sarah Spain, like I've told you, Sarah Spain and Sarah Spain's platform is bankrolled by a conglomerate of Sue Bird and other parties. Together X, another company that's partnered up with Sue Bird. And then you have this lady right here. It is undoubtedly worrisome to watch this league begin to catapult to white supremacy. See, it's a victimhood mentality that this league has had for years and years and years, and they are bitter. They are bitter. They're really disgusted that the NBA is even involved in their league. So I say, NBA, pull the funding. Let them take whatever they want to take. If they want to rebrand it something else, and the NBA keeps the WNBA name because they have partnerships and already have market agreements with companies, let the NBA keep the W, keep their league going. And the players that feel that, hey, look, we're a black woman, black queer league, let them go and form their own thing. Let them form their own company, and let those that really truly support them stand on business and support them. And then let the WNBA be the league of everybody, whether you're white, black, straight, gay, whatever. Let them be that league where you could just come and play basketball. I'm all for the W being that league that's only about basketball. And if Sydney Colson and everybody else wants to go over to this league and continue to do activism, hey man, those people that support you and support that, if it's more about activism than basketball and that's what y'all want to do, hey man, I support you. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. But if the people in the W want to see Caitlyn Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sonia Citron, Kiki Irfin, let them stay in the W and let those ladies continue to make a living and keep entertaining us. That's where it's at, folks. That's the crux of it. That's the angle. Sydney Colson just told you. And keep in mind, this woman was on the Fever last year. And every point since she's left the Fever, she's taken shots at Caitlyn Clark. She just took a shot at Sophie Cunningham. They believe in their heart of hearts that this league is exclusively for black women and women of that lifestyle. And if you don't rock with that, you don't belong. She just said we could say whatever we wanted without consequence. That's because they were in a box and no one cared. That's it. That's it. But they weren't making any money. They weren't causing a ruckus because people had cast the WNBA off and left them in that box. When Caitlyn Clark came, fans came. They didn't like the fans that came. They don't like the skin tone of the fans that came. She's telling you the quiet parts out loud. That's why I've always said they will attack fans through Caitlyn Clark. because they want the fans to go away. I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. Sydney Colson just co-signed what I said earlier to you guys. That's it. They hate fans, in particularly white fans. They hate black fans that support Caitlyn Clark, that support Sophie Cunningham, or anybody they feel does not support and advocate them having that voice and that platform. She also said one thing that should be ultra important. They never cared about the money, because they knew if we pay you, we need you to act a certain way. They would rather have the power. She told you that. And this is just a clip from the video. This isn't even the full episode. This is just a clip, and it was that powerful. She sent that message publicly. And Sydney Colson, to her credit, will probably never play in the WNBA again, coming off of a knee injury, being over 35. She'll probably never play in the WNBA again. Athletes Unlimited has folded for 2027. Financial reasons. Sydney Colson's there, but Sydney Colson isn't talking about Athletes Unlimited. She wanted Athletes Unlimited to be a G League for the W. That's not going to happen. So we're going to see what league that they en masse support, because they have never supported the WNBA to the level that they think they did. If they did, they would be on par with the NBA at the 30th year mark and have 22 teams. They're way behind on teams. They're 7 teams behind the NBA at this same junction in their creation. But Sydney Colson, I thank you for telling the truth and putting it out there. That way we can consume it. But yes, it should be a separate league. If y'all want it to be separate, y'all take y'all's business over here, leave the W, and let the W be a basketball league. Folks, let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the hype button. And until next time, peace.